All right, so this time we are making our graveyard brownies. You know, something in time for Halloween, even though we're a little late. So this time, this is what we're using for our graveyard brownies. Obviously a good brownie mix to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. And of course, we're gonna mix it with a couple of other ingredients and of course, some fun bloody candy bones. Alrighty, so we're gonna preheat our oven to 325. This way, we're following that wonderful thing that Ghirardelli recommends for their particular brownie mix. Now we do gotta make sure we grease our pan. I always like doing it over the sink, so this way you're not causing a mess. So I've already put our brownie mix in a bowl. We're gonna crack ourselves 2 eggs to go into it. And then after that, we are going to do a full cup of vegetable oil. Let's go ahead and get that measured. Alrighty, gonna dump it in with the eggs. And we're gonna follow that up with 2/3 of a cup of milk. We may add in a little bit more later to make sure the consistency of our brownie mix stays good when we add in the spices. And of course, we want to try to mix this up, make sure we get a really good thorough mix. We don't want to leave too many lumps in here, just because that does make for a clumpy brownie. We don't want clumpy brownies. Alrighty, now I'm gonna add in the spices. Now, of course, adjust according to your own taste, but me, I like my brownies spicy. So I'm going to be adding some nutmeg, and I'm doing 2 teaspoons of it. I'm gonna be doing a healthy overflowing teaspoon of cayenne. And then after that, I know this sounds like a lot, but 4 tablespoons of cinnamon. Trust me, it really bumps up that chocolate flavor. And especially since it's dark chocolate, you want that lovely boost. It will also add to the dirt look of our brownies, of our graveyard brownies. And there we go. Gonna mix that up. And just to make sure the brownies don't really stick to the pan too horribly, even though we did put in the nonstick spray, I do a light dusting of cinnamon along the bottom. Still adds some nice flavor. There we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the brownie batter right on in, making sure we kind of spread that all around and scooping out our bowl. We want all that good stuff in there. Now we're gonna put the brownie in the oven for a grand total of 40 minutes. We want to make sure it's mostly done. The toothpick may not come out completely clean. If it comes out with like a little bit of moisture or like maybe a little bit of clump on it, that's okay. It means it's still going to finish baking while it's sitting on the counter. And we're going to go ahead and start that timer for that 40 minutes. It likes to take its time. Yay. There we go. And now it's the waiting game. While our brownies are baking, we're gonna go ahead and crush up some Oreos to start the beginning of our dirt. So we're gonna go ahead and pop an entire regular size package of Oreos in here. I prefer the gallon size baggies just because you can actually get them all in there. And that's assuming the Oreos actually want to come out of the package. There we go. And of course, when you zip these up, you don't want to zip it all the way because when you crush it, it's gonna let some of the air come out. You want that little extra air cushion. So you can use anything like a rolling pin. I'm using a meat tenderizer. Let's just get to smashing these. Now at this point, we've got our crushed up Oreos. We're going to add our very melted Hershey's Hot Fudge to it. So this way we can create our topsoil for our graveyard. We want to get as much of this out. Sometimes if you have a small enough spatula to fit in these jars, that would work very nicely. But right now, I'm just trying to get every little bit out. And you want it very, very melted. You want it smooth enough to be able to mix easily with. Let's see, just a little bit more. And we're gonna mix her up to make our dirt. Once it starts getting to about this consistency, that's how you know your dirt's really forming very well, because you want it to be an almost solid mass that can still spread really well. Because see how this is reacting with the spatula? Spreads nice and smooth in the bowl. That's about where we want it. Okay, now that the brownies are done, we're going to go ahead and insert that toothpick in, and we want to be really careful. Yeah, this is just about right. You really want this kind of crumbliness with a little bit of moisture. See, when it comes out smooth, that's when you know it's not quite done. This way, this will finish cooking while it's sitting on the counter. If it cracks, that's okay. We're not going to be looking at the top of the brownie anyways. Now that the brownie's cooled enough to be able to handle the weight of the Oreo mixture, we're going to put in thin layers of this Oreo on top of it. And you don't want to get too thick of a spatula amount, otherwise it's going to crush the brownie underneath. Now if it breaks up the top a little bit, that's okay. It just allows it to kind of combine and form a little bit, but you gotta be really careful about being too rough about the spreading. Otherwise, it just gets a little too broken up, too mixed in. We want layers to our fake soil. Now that we got this evenly covered over the brownies, we're gonna start adding in our candy bones on top of our mixture, just to kind of give it that wonderful spooky effect. And you can sprinkle as much on here as you want. I try to just go for a nice, relatively even coating. Let's make it spooky as hell. Alrighty. Yay, spooky. Graveyard brownies. Here's the taste test. Mmm, properly spooky.
It's got the good goop on top.
Mm-hmm. Got your good layer of topsoil. Mm-hmm.
I like the mud.
Yep, gotta be muddy. It's a wet graveyard. Alrighty, well thanks guys for checking this out. Alrighty, and that's how you make graveyard brownies. Now if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and or subscribe. And enjoy your spookiness.